What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. McFarlane Toys revealed the full DC Multiverse JLA wave. Like most things with the DC Multiverse line, it's a mix of really great looking figures, some questionable decisions, and then some, yeah, this is cool, but why? So, this is always my thing. I feel like McFarlane is so hit, miss with these figures where every other one is like, oh, this is awesome. This is why I'm collecting this line. And then it's like, oh, Todd, what are you doing? So I finally, because I got him on a good deal, and that's what took me so long, grabbed the anti-monitor. And no, this figure is not 80 inches. He's not colossal, massive. He could use a paint wash, but the detailing on this figure is awesome. It's really well done. These tubes, yeah, they need to be up here on the front, but I really think that would have hindered the articulation. But in all other aspects, a really phenomenal figure. I mean, we've got all the plating here. This is a really good figure. And so when we got the news, the leak list said JLA Wave characters coming. I was excited. There's so many characters to work with in that run. It's an awesome one. You can tell from my shirt, I am a major fan of that run. DC Classics didn't really come through. They were like, let's do this character. I feel like that was a team that was so easy to get done. And kind of by default, just from making some of those characters, we have a pretty complete roster, but there are others who should have been made just for the sake of completing the team, and they never got around to it. My buddy Sean would tell you, Aztec, definitely one. Zario could have been made quite easily during this run too, but whatever. And to me, this is the quintessential team book run of DC Comics in the 90s. And maybe all time, I'll take some debates on the Marv Wolfman, George Perez, Teen Titans, the Jeff Johns Justice Society run. This is awesome. This is the top tier heroes in the DC universe coming together, fighting against some major threats, some top tier villains in their own right. And I think that's what made it so impressive. I love the JLI era of the team. That is, that's my Justice League team. But the JLA squad was just heavy hitter storylines, one after another. Grant Morrison, Howard Porter, John Dell on inks, fantastic stuff. And then they had the assist from other writers, including one of my still contemporary favorites, Mark Waid. Then we had some art from Gary Frank, Oscar Jimenez, and Greg Land. And this is one of my favorite runs during that, or story arcs during that run. Rock of Ages. You can see Darkseid, Lex Luthor. I don't think you need to be sold anything else to understand why that's probably a really good story. And then it takes some totally different directions. It's still super awesome. Anyway, let's take a look here at the team. Here's another shot of just the main original core, the signature 7, if you will. And you see Superman's got a little bit of change, going electric, boogie, woogie, woogie. But this is, for this team up against anybody, you've got some heavy hitters, major characters, big time winners. And McFarlane showed off 2 figures yesterday, and I don't think it's a coincidence, but the 2 that he showed, because he knew at least for Friday into today, there'd be all kinds of, oh, McFarlane's getting it done, baby. So very excited with this first reveal. Hook Hand, Aquaman, awesome execution on this figure. And I know people will hate on Hasbro. I was about to say Toy Biz again when they do this painted on scale, but I mean, it's just the cost of doing business and not paying $75 or $100 for these figures. Sometimes there are going to be some shortcuts we might not like. Yeah, it'd been awesome if you had done the scales along the sides here. That would have been really cool. But we got the important elements. This isn't painted on. This shelled armor is intact. And I always thought it was weird that it didn't have any covering on the left breastplate section. But this is really cool. They sculpted out that. That looks great. And it looks like it's properly scaled up to just just at his forearm. So it's not all the way down. And I think the hook looks good. I mean, the head sculpt's awesome. That's Arthur Curry, Aquaman. Yeah, maybe you could argue his hair could be a little bit wider, but fortunately it's not weaving in the water hair. It's he's hanging out in the watchtower and it's relaxed. He's ready to do his thing, land and sea, maybe occasionally air. Yo, Joe. So Aquaman was a really fantastic reveal. Got me hyped up, like, oh, you're doing it like this with this line. All right, Todd, I see you. Let's see where else we got here. And then the second reveal, Electric Blue Superman. And great looking figure. Again, there's some odd reuse. I don't understand why I can't get rid of these dumb cuffs for Superman figures, but whatever. This head sculpt, gosh, I mean, has he done a better head sculpt for a Superman figure than this one? This captures that stoic heroicism, stoic heroic nature of Superman. I mean, just the intensity. He's focused. He doesn't look mean. It's just like focused, determined Superman. I love that. They did a really good job with the Electric S, and no funny stuff, no belt cuffs here, nothing on the sides that looks really obvious, and it looks like he's got the typical Superman boots. And okay, that shouldn't be included, but whatever. So this is a strong start for JLA Wave. We got two what I would consider essential looks for Aquaman and Superman. We got them right away. And then it was all right, well, who's next? Who's next? Then this is where we start running into McFarlane. So next up, we get Batman. And I know DC Classics did a quasi version of JLA Batman, and it gave him the all black suit. This is using the three Jokers mold, so you note the super texturing on the head sculpt and the cape in all black. It's kind of like, this is more of a 1989 number. This version of Batman from the movie, this is more of a Batman the movie kind of look, as opposed to a true JLA version of Batman. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with that, how this look really should have been executed to do a real signature look for the JLA Batman. So one key element is these points on the cape. They rise up. All my people, they rise up. So they're here, got those points. The ears are not super long. And so it's like, okay, we got that. And the cape kind of drapes around. Porter drew it a lot like it was a cone. Now, for an action figure, you don't want that. But the points on the cape would have been really great to have on there. Here is another look at it. And you can see it's not truly an all black deal. It's more of a black and dark gray. And again, you've got the points on the cape. This is really important. And Porter did not draw those ears to be, massive. They're pretty small. So this is a really weird interpretation of that with this version. It's not like how it should be at all. And here's another shot. And the problem with this three Jokers mold is huge. It's too thick, too big, too buff. And it's not the stuff version of Batman. This is the Arkham Asylum one. And here is the Detective Comics 1000 figure, which scales pretty well with your average McFarlane Toys figure. So you can see he is much smaller and slighter than this one. Now, if only McFarlane had a Batman figure that would kind of work out a little bit better with that, like one that was scaled, I don't know, better suited for Batman. If only there was a figure that he could use. And I feel like if we're in a compromise mode and just like, all right, dude, we just have to make it happen one way or the other. I think there was a perfect mold that a figure that he could use. Not the perfect mold, but one that would have made a lot of sense. That would have been fine. And if this were the options, it's not the most ideal one, but certainly one that would have made a lot more sense than what he decided to go with. And yes, it's taking forever to get to on this page, but let me pull it up now that I think I finally got to it. Of course, it would take forever, just the way it goes. All right, let me just type this in. And that was so much easier. All right, here's the version we should have gotten. And with a little bit of repainting, just coloring this dark gray instead of light gray, this one would have been a much better compromise to give us the JLA version of Batman. Yes, the ears are too big, but he's wearing a utility belt like Batman rocks during this. We got the oval, and just slate that gray, make it much darker. That's what we're working with for the JLA version of Batman. And I think that just makes a lot more sense. He's not super tall anyway, and we got him. And here's some more shots of what he should look like. So you note again, utility belt right there. These shoulder points, so important. I think McFarlane could probably make a new Batman cape that he'd use again on another figure. I don't think that's too big of an ask to just, hey, let's give him a new cape. We can reuse it till our heart's content over and over again. And that one would have made a lot of sense for this. So a very weird choice for this Batman figure. And if you wanted to go even harder with the reuse, you could have gone blue and black. This is from Rock of Ages, early on in the storyline, and you can see it's definitely a little bit more blue, but the tights are definitely more of a darker black / gray in here. So it's just a really weird choice, and just like, come on, Todd, you know better, and you've got better parts to use, so why go that route? And a figure I like, I think it's really cool. It's a really good addition to the line, but it makes no sense in the JLA focus theme waves. Like, no one in McFarlane Toys is like, hey, Todd, here are the characters, Injustice, and JLA. These are ones we should do in a JLA theme wave. It's John Stewart. Huh? What? When did he show up ever? And this is a great looking head sculpt. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, this is great intensity, great focus. He's got hair and it's not bald. He's got a little bit of height to it. So that's good. It's a classic Green Lantern John Stewart. I don't know if this effect piece is new, but I love this. Good texturing, not too over the board with it, but this is really a quality John Stewart figure. Awesome. And, we've kind of seen some of the extras in some leaked pictures, but I feel like if Todd was in a, hey, let me throw a Green Lantern in this wave, there's probably one that made more sense and might have angered some people if he had done this, but why not just swap out the Kyle Rayner in this 2-pack with Kilowog with John Stewart? I think we all kind of want Kilowog. He's got way too much texture and detail and all this stuff, but this is a Kyle Rayner that makes sense with his team. That's the Kyle who's a member of JLA. Let's take it back here. Yeah. Oh, there's Kyle right there. There's not John Stewart. So I think swapping John and putting him in this 2-pack, no need to change price. $69.99, no problem. We get 2 new original characters. So we went on that end and no issues. And this Kyle would make perfect sense. And this is a case where it's like, I don't want to get this repaint, but Kyle is a character who's big enough, especially in a JLA themed wave, to warrant it. That's your cheap and easy repaint. So you could tool up Batman to be properly done, or go with another character. Maybe Orion, maybe Black Big Barda, maybe you go with Queen Hippolyta, because Wonder Woman for a time wasn't even in the book. So that's an option. Huntress, or just make up Steel a different way. I mean, there are different options than a poorly executed version of Batman. And let me go here. Now, this thing with this Green Lantern, this John Stewart, that's kind of weird to me, is that he's so close to working as a part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths wave. And the only thing that's missing is the mask. So you see here in this big Crisis on Infinite Earths, #1, all the heroes. And we have Firestorm right now. We have this Superman of Earth 2. We got Blue Beetle. We got him. So that's great. Missing a lot of other characters on this front. I guess we've got Ultraman. So kind of, sort of. But here's John Stewart. And that's him in his original outfit. The only difference is he's missing the mask. And it's so close to being perfect. And I know when John started out, he wasn't rocking the mask. But man, this would have been a perfect time to include an alternate head sculpt with a mask. So you could do this. You could just put him alongside Dawnstar, Cyborg, Obsidian, Dr. Polaris, and have John Stewart hanging as part of your Justice League crew. I mean, Justice League, your whole Crisis on Infinite Earths setup. That'd have been perfect and really would have made a lot of sense for this wave. Of course, there's a collect and connect, build a figure for this set, and that is Plastic Man. He makes perfect sense for this because he was a prime player during this run and a really fun supporting character. Porter, Porter drew him really well, and Morrison wrote Plastic Man in a way that I don't think we'd seen him written before. So he was funny, not obnoxious. So it looks like this is the separate arm because I feel like we've seen the other one, but this is looks like an all rubbery piece, so no articulation with it, but it's got rubbery fingers. That's kind of cool. Ditto for the feet, and McFarlane and Liefeld leather feet. But I think this is a really nice job. This great head sculpt was awesome. It's got that kind of skeevy look for Eel O'Brien. I think that makes a lot of sense. And we can just go with a basic non-powered up look for him. So that's awesome. And here is the other version. So this also makes a lot of sense. He's got the quirky, weird eye thing going with his goggles. His neck is all out of whack. And you can see the arm still stretching out here. He's going and kicking in. But check this other alternate hand sculpt or arm sculpt where he's wrapped his hand into a lasso of sorts. So he's swinging from the flagpole. That's pretty cool. And that's a fun execution and something that makes a lot of sense for McFarlane Toys Plastic Man. Now, it'd have been great to get that spring that we got from the Mattel DC Classics figure, but I like the fact that we don't have any weirdly painted arms for this version of Plastic Man. So on the 5 figures, in terms of being a JLA wave, 3 out of 5 are great. John Stewart's fine. He's a good figure, and he'll make perfect sense in my Green Lantern sector of my display. Won't work at all for this JLA setup, but he's good. Batman's the real waste in this set because he's going to be too big. He's not really suited for that team whatsoever. His look is pretty terrible on that. They used the wrong mold. The Nightfall gray and black Batman would have been perfect for him. So really wish they had just used that and just made a few tweaks, figured out a way to jury rig up some points on the cape, maybe shave the ears down a little bit, but that mold is perfect. This is the one. This is the mold that he should be using for all of his Batman figures going forward. So we know McFarlane loves to do repaints and reusing different, old molds or whatever. This right here is the one that should be the basis for all Batman figures. This right here, perfect head sculpt, great size to the body, not too big, not too small. Got the boots, got the cape with the points, and got the gauntlets with their points as well. That's Batman. Just use that one. No need for any other one. The 3 Joker one, you can toss it out to 3 Rivers in Pittsburgh. Call it a day and go with that, man. And this is where I'm getting frustrated because it's like you can do it. You can do great figures like this. Yeah, you can use a wash and he could, do the tubing and piping more accurately, but really good figure. Batman, Nightfall, really good figure. But then there were head scratching decisions like making Kid Flash too tall and not painting the belt loops on Superman, making the Crisis weigh $40. He just needs people he'll listen to go, instead of John Stewart, let's do another character. Let's do Aztec. Let's do Zardel. Let's do Big Barda. Let's do Mr. Miracle, Orion. There are a lot of choices, and I know Mr. Miracle wasn't part of the team, but married to Big Barda. I think we could allow it. Do Huntress. She would have been a great addition to this, and a fixed up better steel. We're going to see that Superman Electric Blue in red later. I guess that makes sense to just do as a basic chase, not a platinum edition, not something you got to track down hard, just something that's available. And I love that. I think that Electric Blue Superman, Aquaman, Plastic Man are awesome JLA figures. So it's cool to get them to the collection and John Stewart's fine. And I don't know what the heck to do with the Batman, but that's my thoughts on this wave. And he's just so close from getting these things right. Maybe could have thrown in a villain. Would we have been upset with Prometheus? Shaggy Man, the shaved Shaggy Man from JLA would have been perfect. Maybe that's a mega fig we'll see later. Maybe we could get both versions of Shaggy Man. Queen Bee, I know, an icky female figure. Why would I do that in a way? But a lot of choices. And I feel like, yeah, if you're going to be hamstrung with Batman in this set, do him right. Anyway, that's my take on this wave. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited? Do you wish he had chosen some different characters? How excited are you? I think this is a normal $25 price point because it's got to build a figure, not $40 like that Crisis wave. But again, let me know your thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.